How you gooning, boys? Uh, yeah, it's been a while, huh? I feel like I'm noticing this pattern where I go on a losing streak and then I just disappear. And then when I do good, I come back. Very humble stuff, very humble thing for me to do. But I was not trading for a little bit, at least a week, because I was work has been crazy and some other stuff, which, excuses, excuses. We're gonna go over Wednesday today, which is today, because I didn't look at the charts because it was busy, but yesterday I had a really good day. Hence me coming back. Let's hide this for a sec. So yesterday we had that interesting like bounce, early bounce, came back down almost to the low and then moved up the rest of the day. And I think it moved. Okay, so I took the trades down here. If you had held these trades overnight, you'd be in a pretty good spot this morning. Really good spot. I feel like these were kind of late. Like this was 3:30. The trend is already popping off. But I didn't man, you could have taken a couple, they're not ideal, but there's a couple spots here you could have taken something. So, okay. First I want to look at this because I'm also going back and forth. You can see how messy my shit is. I'm going back and forth between do I want to actually do I want to use CVD? Do I want to use Delta? Um, and I think I'm going to focus on the zones and the price action, and maybe keep this one on the 1801 reg channel. Um, but you only use the reg channel as like a tertiary kind of confirmation. Really don't use it to like form a hypothesis around. But you can see yesterday there was a little bit of I had the feeling that at this red arrow that this was a good zone, but there was this reversal was already happening. So I thought that was going to continue, but I thought it would at least be good for a little scalp down to this zone. Um, and then this was at the midline of the 1801 and the POC and the VWAP. So I was like, okay, that's at least, I probably should have taken something there. I'll double it up. You could have easily, I think, taken a 1-to-1 there. I'm outside and I have a black screen, so I can't see that much. Yeah, you could have easily done a 1-to-1. At least down to that supply zone. I think that's good kind of positioning. Um, and it took you a little further, 1-to-2, I think. Yeah, nice, nice, nice. But yeah, that was a nice little scalp. But that wasn't the move. That wasn't the move, baby. And let's just go like in retrospect. Let's see what that looked like on the cumulative volume delta, which is nowhere to be seen. And here we are. Okay, I love this. I love when this happens. Okay. Okay, so it just doesn't have it over here. That's cool. So ignore that. I don't think there was anything interesting going on anyways. This was where I entered. I saw this point in the POC get broken. I think the POC was here. It closed above. It didn't do much more, but that was like the kind of initiative that I want to see with like actual price action. Came back down. It didn't look super bullish, but I did come in on this candle. It went against me, and I was worried it was going to come down here and then go up, but it did. This did work out. So this was a little risky, but that turned out to be a move. You could have taken this one. I think it would be a little silly. I don't know. It's just a lot of risk. Maybe it's not though. Maybe it's not that much. It's just a big signal bar. But yeah, so it's just gonna move against you sometimes like that. Um, this was a little sketchy because it was also like it was doing this, you know. But I also saw these lows that it was putting in just move up and up and up, and at that point I was like, okay, I think we're gonna be fine. Otherwise, that could be a signal to maybe get out. I'm always like, I think the rule is like stay in until, but that's a rule that can be broken, you know? It's one of those things in trading. Um, like if you're in an open trade and then you see a better setup in the opposite direction, why wouldn't you get out? Take the other direction. One of those kind of things. But that one worked out. Um, this wasn't the best zone right here, but I figured we're going above VWAP. We're breaking above this high, which was a lot of conviction. And then we got a big impulse out of this zone and out of it wanted to stay above VWAP. And I drew this in as when I took this because that was I think where that was either where the value area high was or the POC or something. Probably value area high. And I was like, this is where if I was holding one, I would hold it up to there, and that works out. So I just took that one, kept going up, man. Just kept going up and up and up and up and up. What I'm trying to remember what the daily looked like because I think it was like hey there. I feel like there was a big area of consolidation, or so this is where we bounced out of. It was a 4 hour zone. I was thinking back here, something happened. Kind of. It pushed this base, like pushed it above here, and then bounced. I remember that level. This could so it looks like we could be moving back up on the higher time frame. But let's see. Let's just take a look. I drew out some 4 hour time frame time. Some 4 hour supply zones, demand zones, whatever. Both of them, dude. You know. Let's just get this in here and let's get this started, buddy. It is 8:49. So pre-market is still moving up. I mean, damn, dude, that's just one of those ones that like if you had that, you could just swing trade that bad boy if you still had a runner on it. There was this big impulse forming this zone. I hope you guys can hear me because I'm outside next to a fan. It looks like it kind of this was an interesting area. Didn't want to stay in there, but also not quite pushing past this high. Okay, it's not open yet. Oh, yeah, it just opened. Okay, so it opened and dumped. Um, yeah, this area is like the shelf of a low value area, but it looks like we're pushing back to VWAP and that reg channel low. Actually, damn, this is tempting. It's a big, it's a big style. This is very tempting. I feel like I've done this though at the open and it has not worked out for me. But I mean the bottom of the VWAP, there is a zone there. I mean not the the bottom of the right channel VWAP, whatever. I'm tired, dude.
Yep.
Um I don't know, man. Let's put this above it if it breaks out. And then let's take screenshots, surely. This is a risky one, just because of the time of day. Um, but let's play it out. Yikes, dude. I was about to say we were forming kind of a thing. It hit below that real quick. Let's see what happens. It's really battling. I mean, this is going pretty fucking fast. Jesus Christ. Um, that was a lot of emotion going through my head for a moment right there. Uh, this is really chaotic. This is why I don't, this is like this is why I don't want to take these 9:30 trades. Um, I mean, so close right there. I think I'm just trying to like rationalize what's going on here because this is a low that definitely is having a reaction. Um, it's really just thrashing around at the VWAP. This was promising until it smashed through. Still kind of promising, but then like this is getting creepy. Uh, can breathe a little easier now. It's not over till the fat lady sings, but well, yeah, I couldn't even think for a second there. Spent all my neurons for the day. And I think like I mean you see what's going on right now. You see what's happening. And when I take this thing live, I'm gonna have to figure out a system for you could also maybe take this trade too right here. Just gonna put that there. That might have no. Ah. This is one of those moments where you're just like, okay, I'm not gonna say anything until this closes out. There you go. So, yeah, don't don't trade the open unless that's your strategy. I think when we go live with this thing, we're gonna have to. There's a couple things I want to figure out, mainly pertaining to risk, and one of them is I can't just slap a 1-to-1 on there. Like that might have been a good entry, but as good as that entry is, like, what is my target? Shouldn't I be targeting value area or this high? That would have gotten hit much quicker. It's and if it hits, it hits. Like this is I'm just trying to get in with the trend. Um, so it shouldn't matter how long it takes, but like just slapping a 1-to-1 and not looking at if there's a huge some kind of structure that's going to block you. It's not smart. It's not a good way to trade. But that was nice. That worked out. 50. I definitely would have taken like a quarter. I would have taken such a small risk on that. So not getting the full bando on that one, but definitely 250, $250 from that, something like that.
Yeah.
And now that I have that for the day, now that I've gone through that, um, Also, it smashed straight through that. You had a small reaction from the this is a 4 hour supply zone. Busted straight through that bitch. Now that I have that, I'm really gonna just wait a second. Oh my god, I hate you. I think as I moved to a higher time frame, it just went all the way to. Oh my god, I hate. That's what I don't like about this. Okay, well, let's just try to pretend we didn't see that. Um, because if I had a runner, I would be holding it and crossing my fingers for continuation upwards. Um, and if you are still holding one of these, you know, just for the dopamine, there you go. Take it at the supply zone. Okay, let's just keep. But yeah, I would definitely be bullish. I mean, I would continue to be bullish right now. And this is one that, let's take a look at this right now. We're really high up. And the manual on regression channels says something along the lines of like if it leaves the major channel, comes back, retest the top or whatever, outer bounds, and bounces, you could be in for a really good move up. And there happens to be a zone right here. The thing is, I did see what the obviously it dumped from here. We unfortunately saw that. So like you're wondering, is this a good trade? And maybe it is. It seems like it could be because you're expecting a continuation. I don't know. My bias is kind of shot just because. Let's see if we can hit this high. My bias is shot because we got that sneak peek of the rest of the day, honestly. But I've also been betrayed by this before. So that, yeah, you get cooked on that one. Just taking the bounce of the reg channel has not worked for me a couple times. Um, as it just did not work. So I think that's one of those. Take it with a grain of salt. You got to see other things going on. Bouncing off the midline, not it looks like we're just going to go through that. Yeah, yeah, man. I watch like these. I've also just been watching a lot of trading videos again, and man, like, is this the move? Obviously, I missed it, but I think the like confluence of VWAP and zone, like, is that something good? But where would you take it? Would you take it here? Take it here? Let's just see how that works. I'm not in. This is not a real trade. God damn it. But it's like, is this good for a scalp? Would be good for a scalp off that one. Yeah, this isn't happening. Yeah. I'm kind of diddling around here. Nope. It looks valid to me. Um, so I'm trying to also because you're always like looking online, looking for new opportunities, trading, looking for new strategies. I think strategy hopping is one of the downfalls of many traders. It's been I would say it's not a crazy strategy hopper, but I have ADHD and I just want to I see something shiny and I'm like, oh, that actually worked. Okay. So this works. A little sketchy, but that would have worked right there. And I want to try it. And I'm like, nowadays I more think like, is this something I can add to my is this something that overlaps with my strategy? Because I do want to eventually I want to implement order flow, and I want to implement algo trading, and I want to implement, hang on, and I want to implement, algorithmic fucking. This looks like a good move, but these jumps are so big. Again, I have something in the bag. This looks really good. I have something in the bag, so I'm really just like, do I want to even think about this? Yeah, definitely delete that. Um, yeah, again, like we kind of saw what happened during the day, so I think let's. But I drew this because it's also clearly bouncing out of here. But we're kind of. What does this look like? It's like a bit of a lower low, not a lot of conviction, but this is breaking this high. So I could kind of go either way right now on this. Um, let's see if it breaks that high or not. If this zone, it really shot down from this zone, so this could be a significant area. Let's just see what happens. Yeah, but there's this guy named Fabio Valentini, who I might have talked about. So this green candle that was kind of a signal, it didn't quite overtake the previous candle. I also wonder what happened up here because this, this is the signal. I mean, you can see price is just, I mean, CVD is just doing this. Price is doing this. But yeah, this Fabio guy, he apparently is like a Robbins Cup something, whatever, validated trades, and he's like, he uses what's a pretty simple. I think having a simple core for your edge is key to a lot of stuff, and he has a pretty simple, quote unquote core. He uses like um, footprint candles, CVD, and sort of like volume bubbles. It's kind of like proprietary, so volume bubbles is like the closest approximation of what it actually is. I don't know exactly what it is. Probably like a mix of order flow and volume. Um, but yeah, I'm watching something like that, and that's like the difference is that as far as I know, it's kind of like why would you be on YouTube making videos? It seems like his business partner is like making money from him, whatever, whatever. I don't know, but it's an interesting strategy. It's very straightforward, but it's also one of those things where like you watch the video over and over again, and you're like, I need to grasp this somehow, brother. But I don't know. I think finding your own edge. I think my dream is just to find my own edge, just with supply and demand. Just like the struggle is just to keep it simple, dude. That's difficult. That is difficult because you can trade in an infinite number of ways. And I was also watching Ninja Trader live coverage last night. I was watching it for yesterday morning. I was watching it last night. And it's like it's good stuff. It's professional. Like it's Ninja Trader, so it's like probably kind of the real deal. They got real traders on there, and it's just interesting to see these guys like take have a these professional day traders had a bad day when I had an amazing day, but that's just part of the game, right? But at the same time, I purposely didn't watch it during the day because I was like, I'd been meaning to watch it, but I was like, if I watch this during the market hours, I know it's gonna be noise and it's gonna sway my it's gonna sway whatever I am trying to do. So I think my plan right now, my next steps are just cut it down, cut everything down, keep it simple. Where have I been successful? Trading zones with price action, with breaks of structure. See, I feel like I'm pretty good at seeing when reversals are happening, but I don't. I've lost trying to catch that falling knife, but I know when the reversal kind of has happened, but it's still early enough to get in. I feel like that's where I've had good trades. That's where I kind of had good trades yesterday. Um, so that's kind of where I'm at. Just try to keep it simple because it's so tempting, dude. You're like, this could be the holy grail. I'm just not using it. Once I add this thing to my trading, it's gonna fucking work. It's like, no, dude, you might have the holy grail right now. You don't know. There is no holy grail, of course, but holy grail might just be simplicity. Get two or three things, get two or three confluences, see where it works. I think that's the key. I think that's the key. I think there's a meme about that. Sorry, this beer is making me real ADHD. Trading this. I think this is like, I mean, there's so many of them, but there's one that's like, there's one that's the dumb side and the smart side are like by the trend, and the middle, the average side is like, here's the 7 million confluences I use. Yeah, that's just not seeing anything good. I wish I was like more of a morning trader, but I feel like I still see good setups in the afternoon. I hate sitting through this. Like afternoon, it's just like, eh, I don't want to sit through this. The moves don't happen, but I still get some good trades. Like yesterday, I had my trades were after three, so you kind of just gotta watch it. If you get enough data, you can kind of take a look and be like, okay, this is when it works for me. All right, that's it. This has been a long ass video. Um, but yeah, keep it simple. Just pass an eval using simple techniques. Um, for me, it's gonna be price action, supply and demand. Maybe a little bit of market profile VWAP just for targeting, whatever key levels, and then once I have time, once I have an edge, doing more of that kind of studying new studying order flow, not studying, but like back testing, using algorithms for that because that feels easier than you know manual stuff. But yeah, it looked like we still where did we open? We might have technically opened a little higher, but either way, it looks like we could be going up. Um, and if you know, okay, we closed a little lower than yesterday's close, but I think we could be going up, dude. And again, just so I have something to put on the thumbnail, um, if you put if you had this one still open, 240. Okay, it's like $4,800. All right, have a good night. All right, I was just going back because I was yapping this entire fucking time that I was watching this. Um, this this higher time frame 4 hour zone because I drew this right before I started replaying it. This 4 hour demand zone, we bounced right out of there. Um, and you know, if you're swing trading, you might even think about buy if you're buying day 4 hour candles, you might even think about buying this candle right here, you know. So, and see if it cracks this. See if it cracks. That's really high up, but you know. So I just wanted to point that out. And on the 1 minute, we were watching it. As far as entries, because I drew this. As far as entries, um, I don't know. I think you would have either had to take the actual move out of that 1 minute time zone, out of that 1 minute demand zone within the 4 hour demand zone. You either would have had to take this move, or you would have had to take like something like this or something like this. And I think this one makes a little sense, but you really didn't close above that level until you got up here. So like I'm looking for like conviction, structural breaks. And by the time that happens, it comes back down. I don't know. So getting in there on the 1 minute is where it's going to be either risky or tough in this on this day. But I just want to point that out, dude. This is why we did draw higher time frame zones. It just we're in an uptrend now, and she busted straight out of that motherfucking zone. You know what I'm saying? So that's it.